Hey, everybody, it's Scott Steen with winnersandwhiners.com coming to you with our, what is this? It's Tuesday, right?
Yep, it is Tuesday.
Wow, time flies when there's no Monday night football for me to figure it out. It's the Tuesday edition of Today in Sports Betting. Congratulations. We're going to do, it's going to be our basketball show kind of all rolled into one here. We just have one NBA game on TV and a couple of college games we're going to talk about. So let's
Is this the load management bowl or the load management game of the
This
afternoon?
is it's not, but it seems like it, doesn't it? It's
Definitely does when you look at the injury report for this game.
This is the COVID-19 special, Scott, as we see the Los Angeles Clippers take on the Atlanta Hawks down there in Atlanta. And you know it's COVID season because the Hawks are a 5-point favorite. So why would that be, Scott?
Well, when Kawhi and Paul George, of course, are hanging out with each other and one of them has COVID issues, odds are both of them will have COVID issues. And that seems to be the story in this one.
Quarantine, baby. Quarantine. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are going to be out. Patrick Beverley is out. Marcus Morris is probable, so you got that going for you, which is nice. Jay Scrubb, he's out. Boy, it must have been tough growing up with the name of Jay Scrubb trying to play basketball, huh?
I don't know why I feel like it kind of fits him now that he's in the NBA.
TLC didn't do you any favors either.
Fair.
So Atlanta, Scott, what could be the one person for Atlanta that you definitely want to know that they're playing?
I got to go with Trae Young on that one.
He's questionable.
Yep.
He's questionable for this one.
He's got back spasms he's dealing with.
Bad back, yeah.
Tell you what, though, I know Collins is still going to play. DeAndre Hunter has been great this year. So Atlanta has some other options who maybe can, pick up some of the slack there. If you're the Clippers, your projected starting lineup, because Patrick Beverley's out also. And I know he's got no offensive talent, but he's also a starter. Your projected lineup for the Clippers, Reggie Jackson, Luke Kennard, Marcus Morris, Nicholas Batum, Serge Ibaka. That's a pass for me. And congrats though, it's the only game on NBA on TV today for basketball. Nice stuff.
So you're gonna lay you want to lay 5 with the Hawks, is what you're saying?
I gotta consider it. If you're looking at who the Clippers have, I don't know who on this team's gonna score. Reggie Jackson's gonna attempt at least 25 shots because when he's got a chance to shoot it, he's gonna shoot it. I expect him and Morris to take a bunch of shots. Ibaka's been pretty good, but I don't think he's the player he once was. He's still solid, but that's mostly from defense, rebounding, and a little bit of pick and pop game. But you still have Hunter on Atlanta, who's having a very solid year. He's progressed quite rapidly. Collins is still very solid. He dropped 30-plus in the one game Trae missed previously against Milwaukee. And Capella is questionable also. He had that triple-double with 10 blocks a couple of games ago, so he still has some potential to have a big game here. For me, I got to lean to Atlanta. Do I have any interest in this game? No, but I'll lean to Atlanta, and I guess I'm leaning to the under because I don't really see how the Clippers are going to score. And if Trae Young doesn't play, this game's going to be a rock fight.
221.5 is the total right now. This seems like one of those things that's too good to be true for me. And you'll see it in the NBA every once in a while where everybody sits out for load management or whatever.
Other people step up, and then you're good to go.
Yep. Well,
I agree if there's one star out, but they're missing both of their primary ball handlers, and this seems like a game where Lou Williams could easily drop 30. If they need somebody to produce, but this is just bad. I can't go to the window with this Clippers team. I can't do it. Even if it's a trap, it's a trap. Of course, I would not actually play it until I see if Trae Young's going to play or not, because I do think Trae Young means that much to this team, especially with Beverly out, because Beverly, of course, is their best defender, and with him out, Young should have a field day, just based on who the Clippers are going to throw at him. But we talked about Young before we went on air and how he's a great stat sheet player, not exactly a great winning player.
Right.
It seems like a good spot for him to do both if he is able to play at even near 100%. Do I think he's going to play? I actually do. I think he'll probably play in this one, especially with Atlanta to get a shot to get back over 500. Decent shot here. I'll lean Atlanta. Do I like it? No. So I'm not going to have any action on it, but I'll lean to Atlanta. If Young plays, then maybe I'll go to the window.
Okay. I think Young playing is already baked in.
That's what I think. That's why I think he's going to play.
Yeah, I probably agree with you. Again, it's nothing I want to get involved with personally. I worry about it being a trap. It's just a lot of times it's just too good to be true, and it is. So yeah, keep an eye on that one.
I think you'd agree though that it's one of those spots where if you bet it and you lose, it's more understandable than taking the Clippers and losing. I think you'd agree with that.
Yeah, I agree, and and I'll make premium picks that way every once in a while where some team is really on a run, and you're like, it'd be malpractice if I didn't suggest this team.
Well, I had that yesterday. I had the Heat team total over against the Nets.
Oh, God.
And the Heat scored, 84 points? 85?
Just brutal. I watched that with I turned it on with 6 minutes left in the first quarter, knew we were beat.
Pretty much.
Yep, it's over. So that was absolutely brutal. Yeah,
I'm happy college basketball and the rest of the NBA helped pick it up for me. I had a winning day yesterday, but still, it's one of those spots where it's a matter of, the Nets defense is awful. Yeah, of course I got to take Miami team total. It's like, oh, wait a second. The one game I picked, the Nets actually show up defensively. Like, it made sense on paper because everything that you had looking at it said it made sense, and it just didn't work out. Sometimes it happens that way in the association. So yeah. Hopefully this game doesn't follow the same, type of situation. But yeah. I kind of have to look at Atlanta and just say, this is a game you pretty much have to win.
So anything in the other two that gets you excited? You got Wizards Rockets minus 3.5. You got the Knicks Jazz minus 11.5. Either one of those, even though they're not on TV, either one of those get you excited?
I'm going to look at the Rockets here. I know that it sounds questionable because the Rockets on paper have a roster that's probably, I think you'd agree, bottom 6 in the league, bottom 7 in the league, give or take.
G League, you say?
I think that's a little bit harsh. I think the Timberwolves are G League, but I think Houston's, not very good. The issue here is that you have Washington, who came back from COVID. Westbrook's playing, Beal's playing, yet this team's missing Bertans, Avdia, Troy Brown, Hachimura, Ish Smith, and Wagner. This team's missing pretty much its entire bench and Hachimura for COVID purposes. So, we already know how bad the Wizards are defensively. And playing Westbrook and Beal 40-something minutes is not going to change that. So, for me, I'll take Houston there. I just think it makes a lot of sense that Houston's been taking money at home. Houston might be 6-9. This team's actually kind of fought pretty hard since Harden has left the team.
Yeah.
Oladipo has been pretty streaky, but he has the potential to be really good. And I think Beal's going to offer no resistance defensively. So for me, I'll take Houston. I think you'd agree that Christian Wood should also have a pretty big game in this one. I
think there could be a couple big games in this one for.
But the Wizards have no bench. You'd have to throw everybody.
Right.
They have, 7 guys in rotation?
Right.
I mean, it's terrible. It's a terrible spot for the Wizards.
If you wanted to think about Wizards' first half, you could do that. And I think
potentially, but I think you'd agree with me that, especially with the Wizards who like to play a track meet, foul trouble could be an issue for this team, which has been an issue in the year. Just fatigue. This team's played, one game in the span of a week and a half? 2 weeks?
Yeah, they played one game since the 11th, so yeah, not good.
That's a serious problem for fatigue.
Agreed. And COVID, of course, takes the lung power away as well if you get a dose of it. So not good, my friend. All right.
I don't like backing bad teams, but I feel like that's a very good spot for the Rockets.
Yeah, like I said, that one's not on TV, but it does have something in common with both of the other games. Neither one of those games are going to be on my TV either. So
that's honestly fair.
All right, bud. Let's take a look at the wonderful world of college basketball. We've got a little more excitement in college basketball. Some good teams in play. Scott, got a game in the Big 12 all of a sudden, and a couple of ranked teams. The Oklahoma Sooners take on Texas in the basketball version of the Red River Shootout. Texas minus 4, 143 is the total right there, Scott. Oklahoma just beat KU. Does that mean anything anymore?
Well, it does when you win at home, because it seems like what I've mentioned in a lot of these big conferences, that home field advantage or home court advantage still seems pretty powerful, even though there aren't many fans there, because you look at the home road splits. We talked about yesterday with Syracuse. You have some of these big teams that are just terrible on the road. It's just the way it is. But in this spot, I'll tell you what, though, pretty interesting developments going on in Texas over the last, I'd say, 48 hours, because Texas now does not have a head coach. Shaka Smart got COVID. He's not going to be there. And you have to wonder how much of an impact Shaka will have with him not being there, because of the fact that you have an assistant coach who I'm sure knows all the system and the plays and everything. But there are certain coaches that have a presence about them on the, courtside. And Shaka might not have had the greatest winning experience at Texas so far in his career, but I do think that a lot of players respect him. And I think that he does have a presence there. Is it going to matter? We can talk about it. But I do think it's definitely worth mentioning. And I think that's partly why we have seen money in Oklahoma coming in, as it's gone from +4.5 to +4.
Okay. Texas is going to be the home team here. Oklahoma's had a nice little stretch. They
all at home though, so I know what you want to read into it.
Well, they covered against KU on the road. They lose by 4 to KU at Allen.
Just saying, Oklahoma this season's 1-3 on the road, 1-2 against the spread. I don't know how much you want to factor in. However, Texas is interestingly 6-2 at home, but only 2-6 against the number, which I find pretty fascinating.
Well, here's the deal with Oklahoma, dude. They played their first game. They played at Xavier, so they lose by 20 to Xavier.
I remember that game. Yeah,
and they played at Baylor at KU. That's their road schedule so far.
Didn't Xavier shoot like 60% from three and scored like 99 points or something?
They scored 99 points, right? Yeah, they were absolutely on fire from beyond the arc.
Mm.
So, I don't know how much you want to read into them being a bad road team, other than playing.
They've had a tough schedule on the road. I'm just throwing it out there that this team.
That's what I'm saying.
Much on the road, but how much do you buy into Shaka not being there?
It makes a difference. I think it definitely makes a difference for in-game adjustments. Although you've got assistants that have been with him forever. So
that's what I'm saying. Where I don't know how valuable some of these coaches truly are in comparison to a one game or whatever absence when the rest of the coaching staff is still there. Like, that Shaka appointed somebody to be interim who he actually relies on, probably second in command. So I don't think it'll be that big of a drop off. But
right.
I don't want to take Texas here. I can't back a team with no head coach.
So you like the road Sooners there?
I actually do. I think there's a decent shot they could win the game. Texas, if you look at how it's played lately, it's played well. However, it's had some step-up games at home where it has looked, I'd say, okay. I know losing to Villanova at home, losing to Texas Tech at home. The Texas Tech game was brutal. Texas should have won that game. Oklahoma has looked really, really good over the last couple of games. That win over Kansas was definitely impressive. I think Oklahoma's definitely live. And I think when in doubt, I know that Texas might be without some people as well. You have a couple people who are currently questionable. Not exactly the biggest impact guys, but anything that could impact team depth alongside not having their usual head coach, I think does create a little bit of uncertainty. And you know that a lot of these players in basketball or any other sport are creatures of habit. So if you have a specific routine, a specific rotation, anything like that, and something goes a little bit awry, then you could see that have a chain reaction on the rest of the team. And I think you'd agree with that 100%. So for me, you're looking at some people who might not play. A couple of decent contributors. Kai Jones is questionable for Texas. He's averaging 8.5 points per game. Decent impact guy. You have Cunningham, who has no impact really, but he's playing roughly 18 minutes a game. So he has an impact in terms of minutes, but not exactly production.
Well, and you got your leading rebounder that's questionable too, and Greg Brown.
Yeah, correct. I was about to get to him as well, who's averaging 11.8 and 8. So you have a couple of pretty substantial losses and one bench guy who might not play. I got to take Oklahoma, right? I mean, you just have so many question marks with Texas. I can't back this team.
I'm with you. And this is an Oklahoma team that's really, really been playing good defense lately. They held Baylor to 76, which doesn't sound like a great thing, but you look at the teams that played Baylor and have given up a ton of points. Then they held KU at KU to 63, 46 against TCU and 50 against K-State. Of course, those aren't real D1 programs right now. But then 68 against Kansas again. So, this is a team that definitely plays some defense, man. And I think that's where you're going to miss your head coach, being able to make adjustments against defenses on the fly. Especially if just one of those three guys don't play, I think it's going to make an impact.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, if two of them don't go, an even bigger impact. I got to go Oklahoma, everybody. I got to. I hate. I'll take the points. Give me 4 points in a pretty much evenly matched game without your head coach, and I'll take it all day long.
Yeah, well, it also is worth mentioning that Texas is averaging roughly 3 more rebounds per game. But if Texas is missing its best rebounder, in a game where the spread's below 5, rebounds can be a huge impact here. And
Sure.
I think that if Texas is not able to crash the boards as they normally do, Oklahoma might generate more second chance points, also a couple more one and dones. And we've talked about how good Oklahoma's defense has been, giving up less than 69 points in each of its last 4 games and played Kansas twice. I mean, that's just impressive stuff. So
Yep.
I think Texas could be in for a long night offensively.
Yeah, I agree. And this is a Texas team that doesn't play great defense either. So there was definitely going to be opportunities for Oklahoma in this one. So, all right, I think we're on the same page there. How about a little SEC battle, Scott, between my Missouri Tigers and the Auburn Tigers, the battle of the Tigers, if you will. Interesting game. This one opened at 1.5. It's now gone to 2.5. Auburn favored by 2.5 in this one, and total sits at 150. What you got here?
So I know that Missouri, of course, is ranked 12th, and I know that Missouri has really been, is it a bold call to say, the most underrated team in the country? Or at least top 3 underrated teams in the country?
I was going to say top 3 or 5. Yeah, absolutely.
This team is great, and nobody really talks about him, especially the center that it has in the big man in Tillman, who is really, really good. But thinking about Auburn is that this team's 9-7, 3-5 in conference play, but it doesn't account for one huge factor, and it involves having one of the best point guards in the entire country. Because Auburn looked lost for pretty much the entire season, and then Cooper came back, and, well, Cooper's been absolutely ridiculous. He's averaging 21.2 points per game and 9 assists per game. Now, I know he's shooting less than 40%. He's averaging over 4 turnovers a game, which is a problem. But I think we can both agree how impactful he's been since he returned to the lineup. And, I mean, Auburn's looked like a completely different team. The truth is I think Auburn's a dark horse candidate to potentially win the entire SEC. Are they going to? No, because they don't play enough defense. But I like Auburn here. I think that it's pretty fascinating. Missouri, despite smacking Tennessee in its last game on the road, is now 2.5-point underdogs here to Auburn. Based on that spot, I got to assume Auburn gets it done, so I'll take Auburn.
Well, and I'm not sure I understand your logic there, because you talk about how Missouri is one of the most underrated under the radar teams in the nation.
I just think the line itself is very, very questionable, and for that reason, I think it's a trap line. That's just how I view it.
If people are undervaluing Mizzou, then
I didn't say undervalued. I said underrated.
Well, if you're underrated, you're not undervalued.
I think the betting markets could potentially have you listed as, where it should be, but I'm talking about in terms of national recognition. I'm talking about in terms of media coverage. I'm not talking about betting coverage. I'm talking about just who can win the SEC. You always hear the same teams so far this season. You've heard Bama. You've heard Tennessee. I mean, people with pipe dreams claiming Kentucky. But I don't think anybody's talked about Missouri at all in terms of national recognition. I didn't mean betting. I meant in terms of just ESPN. What teams are going to talk about? SEC Network. Nobody talks about Missouri.
Well, about the time they get ready to get on their horse, they get a bad loss. They had a bad loss to Tennessee by 20. They snap back, and like you said, they beat that Arkansas team in a real good game, and then they go down and they lose. They lose by 15 to Mississippi State. So they've had some real clunkers.
Yep.
Although this is an Auburn team that got beat by Arkansas. So
pretty bad choke job there. I think they were up 15 plus in the first half.
Again, it happens. You got to play both halves, buddy.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
In fact, they've gotten beat twice by Arkansas this season. So,
yep.
So you're gonna chase the money here, huh?
I'm going to chase the money, but it's also because I don't think that the markets have fully adjusted to how impactful Cooper's been. I know that Auburn has definitely played a lot better since he got there. This team looked like a lost cause, but Cooper is just – he is so good if you just watch him play. Now, I know his shot needs a lot of work. His form's completely broken. I understand that. But he just dominates that team in terms of being a floor general. He is so good, especially in college nowadays where you have a lot of, I'd say, suspect guard play from some pretty high schools, blue bloods, whatever you want to call it. Cooper's something else. I think he's easily a top 3 point guard in the country.
I don't know how you can possibly say that about somebody that doesn't shoot 40% from the field.
I just said it.
No.
If you watch him play, you'll understand what I mean. I just think he's actually really, really good.
Except for the whole shooting the basketball part.
Correct, but apparently you don't need to shoot in order to be the number 1 pick in the draft. Shout out to Anthony Edwards. I think he's shooting like 32% this year, 33%. But he had one highlight dunk, and people were just like, this guy's great. I'm like, no, he's not. But I've watched Cooper play.
Davion Clowney made millions of dollars off of one hit in the backfield. So
that is true. And that I think Tennessee's regretting that contract that they paid him this past year. But,
you think?
Yeah. But no, I've watched Cooper play. I think he's great. I do have a question with how well Auburn will handle Tillman in the middle. But Auburn actually has a couple of bodies on the interior, so I do think they'll throw some quantity at him, maybe get him into foul trouble a little bit. But I think you'll agree that if Tillman gets into foul trouble, this game's a wrap.
Yeah. Again, I just don't know. I don't know who you've got that you throw. I mean, you've got Williams and Thor, and then what do you got? I mean, I guess you can get some inside of Cardwell, but
it's mostly just the fact that I think they have enough bodies to get one guy into foul trouble. That's what I'm banking on for the most part.
Oh, okay. All right. So, you know what? I'm probably gonna regret it, but
you're gonna take Missouri. I already know.
I'm gonna take the better team in the points, man. I just am.
That's fair.
So, and it absolutely could jump up and bite me, no question about that.
In Bruce Pearl, I trust, which can go really, really poorly.
Said no one ever. What do you got for the total? 150 is your number.
I got to take the over. Auburn's been an over machine.
The Mizzou team plays pretty good defense. When
I know it does, but Auburn, pace-wise, just throws all caution into the wind.
All right. Well, if I'm gonna go with Mizzou, I'm gonna probably have to lean under as well. I don't think Mizzou wins a shootout here.
Mm-hmm.
So in for a penny, in for a pound, my friend. I've got the Tigers in the under. So,
yeah, it's fair.
We're directly fading. All right.
Is that one of your correlated parlays that you're going to be sticking with?
Yeah, that's an underrated way to make money.
Mm.
If you have identified the way you think the game will go and you're only taking a side, you're leaving money on the table.
Yeah.
You not agree with that?
No. I understand where you're coming from.
Okay. I mean, the problem is not everybody has the ability to make correlated parlays, and that's certainly understandable. That's why I don't give them out more.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a strategy that you definitely should be aware of. A couple of good teams coming back, Scott.
The Golden Goose of covering is back.
Yeah, the Golden Goose of covering is back. Also, St. Louis is back.
We were talking about Drake, by the way, if you didn't realize what we were talking about.
Drake is the only clean team against the number so far. 11-0 against the spread so far.
I gave him out first play of the year. I was early to the party.
Anything else on the schedule excites you today? You like Drake, short number there against the Bears?
I actually don't. I'm not going to touch that game at all because I think Missouri State might be either the second or the third best team in the conference. Loyola Chicago somewhere in the middle of there. I think those are the top three teams.
You see that Loyola Chicago game last night?
I know that it barely covered because of some shenanigans late. I didn't see it.
Oh, it was a beautiful thing. Yeah, I had it as a personal bet, laying 6.5, and
I know they won by 7, but I don't know what exactly happened in that game.
Had a steal with 10 seconds left. They were up 5, and the other team, I can't remember who they were playing. Just flat had the ball stolen, and then of course
they played Bradley.
Yeah, Bradley. That's right. They had the quick foul, and they go down and they make both free throws to go up by 7, and then Bradley can't score. So,
shout out to all those people who had Texas Tech money line yesterday. That was pretty brutal. I'm not even sure how Texas Tech still lost the game.
What happened in that one?
They were up, 13 or 15 with like 7.5 to go.
Oh, nice.
They had 2 turnovers in the entire game, and they still lost.
Oh, that's right. That's the one you were I saw you were ranting about something on Twitter. I didn't know what
It wasn't really a rant. I just took a photo of the win probability. It said 95%. And I just said it takes true skill to lose a game while only committing 2 turnovers, which I think is fair. It's really just a ridiculous way to lose, especially with McClung doing whatever he wanted for most of the game. But anyway, back to the point here. I'm not going to touch Drake. I think Missouri State's pretty good, and I kind of want to see Drake in action. I am always concerned about the long layoff, especially after about a month of not playing. I am going to wait it out. Would it shock me if Drake wins? No, because I think Drake's a ridiculous team. But I'm not going to touch it. I think that's a wait-and-see thing. One game I have a personal play on, though, is the Pittsburgh and North Carolina over. I got on the overnight at 144.5. It's currently up to 145.5. Pittsburgh seems to be playing with a lot more pace from what I've seen them play. Champagne. I always confuse him with the St. John's guy. Champagne, I think, has been very good this season. North Carolina crashes the boards. I'll tell you what, though, I ragged on this North Carolina team. They started tinkering with the rotations a little bit more. They stopped playing play tech, thank God, because I think play tech is absolute trash. And, the teams play better lately. So North Carolina seems to be playing better offensively. Pittsburgh likes to play up tempo. And I think this game should end up getting into the 150s. So I like the over in that one.
Okay. Very good.
Do you have any thoughts on any game?
I don't love
premiums, but I'm just asking.
I don't love the over in that spot.
The line has jumped up. I think it makes sense based on how these teams have played.
Neither one of them could shoot worth a damn. That's part of my problem. Pittsburgh actually plays some defense. I don't hate it. I'm probably not as full-throated excited about it as you are.
Well, I saw the line move. I jumped early. So anytime I beat a line move, you know me, I'm a creature of beating line moves. So I saw it and I took it.
CLV, buddy. It's all about the CLV.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't hate St. Louis. I think that's a great team. This Dayton team has done pretty much nothing on the season. I had
money on them over the weekend. Sorry to interrupt. I had money on them over the weekend against VCU.
Yeah.
I think they had 10 points at the half. Like, no exaggeration. I'm pretty sure they had 10 points at the half. Or like 11.
Well, that's not good. That's not going to win you a lot of games.
It was painful. It was really one of the worst performances I've ever seen. And I felt even worse because, of course, I had the 150-1 Dayton ticket last year to win the title, which was pretty saddening because that tournament ended up not happening.
That was a heartbreaker. I think a lot of people wanted to see Dayton in the finals.
They're going to be a 1 seed. It was the way it was.
Oh, no question.
Yes, I searched it up. Dayton in the first half, 13 points.
13 points, and they scored 30 in the second half, which is no great shakes either.
Yeah, not good. But I gotta agree with St. Louis because I watched Dayton play and I gave up.
Yeah, I like this. I like this St. Louis team. They've even gotten a little better shooting free throws, Scott.
It's big.
That is big for them. They're shooting 73% from the line. That's a team that it really struggled to shoot 60% last year. So, I like them. They've got some good big men inside. Lot to like about this SLU team. I really dig them. So,
cool.
Take a look at that one, laying a pretty big number. Anything else get your attention?
Not really. Just kind of gonna kick back and enjoy the rest of the card.
All right, fair enough. All right, guys, so that's it. If you're looking for information on these or any other games, of course, you know where to stop. It's winnersandwhiners.com, your number one site in the world for predictive sports analysis, winnersandwhiners.com, always there for you, always free. And, of course, we'd appreciate it. If you like what we're doing here, give us a little thumbs up for the effort. We appreciate it. And if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. Join over 11,000 of the coolest handicappers out there as Scott and I put up a lot of content. We put up our own videos every day. We do their Today in Sports Betting show, at least one video a day, depending on what the schedule looks like. So, we'd appreciate it if you'd check us out. So, anything else you want to beg for, Scott?
Not really. Go Islanders. That's what I'll be watching tonight. And hopefully, we fill with some content over the next couple of days because we got no UFC card and no NFL over the weekend. So I'm sure we'll come up with something.
Could be some basketball in our future.
Yep. Most likely. So
we'll
see what happens.
Very good. Appreciate everybody tuning in today. Wish you nothing but the best on all your plays. Hope every one of those tickets in your pocket turns into cash money back at the window. And for myself, for Scott Reichel, for all of us over here at winnersandwhiners.com, appreciate you being part of the crew. We'll see you next time on Today in Sports Betting. Take care, everybody.